Camp Crockett, and I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It was a secret military installation in the United States to train people to fight, and there were 600 of us, and only 3 of us passed it.
Are you serious?
You had to divide your attention at 3 different tests at the same time. Yeah.
Are there a lot of people that went through that? This is the first time I've heard of this.
Even at that young age, I was making decisions under extreme pressure. Is a 13-year-old can't handle much more pressure than that, you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, those were 3 events just growing up that I thought were formative in my life, and getting older, you know, college and all that, and the military. You know, you realize that I can handle stuff. Maybe other people can't, but I know I can. You know, and it gave me a comfort, and even the simple thing about being a Christian, going to combat, knowing that you're going to kill people and all that kind of thing. That was resolved in my mind too. And that it's permissible to take a life for self-defense, capital punishment, and war, you know, and that's not a problem with me. And I looked at all the characters. Moses was adopted by Pharaoh's daughter to be perhaps the next Pharaoh, and he would have been a general in the Egyptian army. And then David, King David, the shepherd boy who killed Goliath. They used to sing, Saul hath killed his thousands, but David his 10,000s. And all the way down the line, there were heroes. And in the New Testament, when it talks about the Christian life, Ephesians 6 talks about putting on the armor of God and all this kind of a thing. So the metaphors of war are there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you actually... You did all the research before you went.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, I was actually in college, a ministerial student, and I think it was in my third year, a year to go, and I believed in the war. I'm very anti-communist, and anyway, I kept thinking, reading the newspaper, so many GIs have been killed and all that stuff, and I'm thinking, I'm ready to die. You know, if I have to, you know, I'm not eager, but I'm ready. And I thought, you know, the least I can do is do my part. What a shame it would be at the end of this war, being healthy and intelligent, that I didn't do my part. So I quit and enlisted with the proviso that I be able to try for special forces.
Wow. So you wanted special forces, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best there is. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to be anything else, you know.
How old were you when you made that decision?
Probably 21.
21?
I think so, 3rd year of college.
What were you in school for?
Major?
Yeah.
Theology.
Theology?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, you take all the other stuff.
What was the one thing that you saw that made you decide to go the military route?
That's a good question because it makes me think. It was probably atrocities I saw from the other side, how horrific communism. I knew philosophically how bad communism is and how they enslave and murder people, but to see it firsthand, and of course you had the one American who did this atrocity for the whole war, Lieutenant Calley, but it was routine fare for the enemy, how they would wipe out entire villages and so forth, or leave one alive so that he could tell people who did it, you know, and that might have been a good part of it.
So when you went to the recruiter, I mean,
No, there wasn't a recruiter at all.
Were you drafted?
No, I enlisted. Actually, I had a perfect deferment. Students got 2S. Ministerial students got 4S. They couldn't touch you, you know. And just, no, I'm going to go in this thing. So I drove down to Minneapolis and took all the tests and enlisted. And I wanted to see it in writing. I have the right to try for special forces. They can't give it to you, but I can sure try for it. You know, and I did well. I was honor graduate out of basic and got promoted, and then I was honor graduate out of AIT and got promoted. And then and AIT is interesting too. Camp Crockett, and I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it was a secret military installation in the United States to train people to fight. And it was outside of Fort Gordon, 10 miles in the woods. And it was paid for by excess funds, is what the euphemism was. And there were 600 of us there. And it was all people who were going to go commando, airborne, things like that. And we took the Special Forces test there. And there were 600 of us, and only 3 of us passed it.
Are you serious?
And I was one, and Mike Buckland was another, and there was another guy. I think his name was Sorensen.
600 people and three
Yeah, and only 3
three
passed.
individuals passed it.
It was an interesting test, and I don't know if it's a routine one, but they had 3 tests done at exactly the same time. One was oral, and they read it on microphones. But the minute the scenario was read, they went immediately to the next one. You had to immediately put down the answer. And then one was literal, where you were reading the words. And then there was another one that was visual, where they saw pictures. But 3 of them were at the same time. So you had to divide your attention at 3 different tests at the same time. And then in most cases, you had no time to really deliberate the answers. You had to intuitively put down the right one. So it was an interesting challenge. I've not seen that they've done that since.
Interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
are there a lot of people that went through that? This is the first time I've heard of this.
I don't know if we were. I can't imagine we were the only class, because it seemed like everything was set up. But it was like Quonset huts and so forth. It was wild. It was very, very basic. Yeah. I used to do nunchucks and throw my knives. And at the end of the training day, I go out behind the Quonset hut, and I'd throw my knives. I had a little spot I would go in, and I looked on the ground. All over the place were stockings with kiwi shoe polish in them. And these people were taking shoe polish and taking the lid off and putting them in a sock, and they were getting high on shoe polish.
What?
Yeah. So they were all over the place. I guess it was the only high they had, So it wasn't too long until I realized that we weren't all top tier of recruits up there.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.